Hello, everybody. Nitera, what is this?
I I was just stricken with grief that I'd opened my third eye and I started crying. We lost Frog Tree.
We
They
did
just
lose
needed to
Frog
stay
3.
on the point. That's all they needed, and I feel so bad. We had to see them go. Oh
Oh my
God.
goodness.
Oh.
Well, hey, Nitera, it's time to open up your third eye once again because we have some more finals action coming up after this. We are back and we are ready for some more gameplay. But before we get into
That's
that,
right.
I'd love to give a special shout out to the Matcherino crowdfund page.
Oh.
Yeah, if you type exclamation mark donate, if you type exclamation mark donate, it'll take you to the Matcherino page where you can ever so generously donate towards the prize pool and complete quests that can add money on behalf of sponsors. It's a super cool integration, and it is extremely important for fueling the finals esports scene. Also, a big shout out to our main sponsor, One Shot Energy, where you can get 10% off using discount code BREAKOUT. Exclamation point One Shot will get you a link for their site where you can check out all of their cool products. My favorite being their soothing yuzu voice drops, which was extra helpful for today's broadcast.
And surprisingly, we are actually gonna get sent that. Unfortunately, it's not here with us today, but when we get it, we'll do a short review. Don't worry about it. But Artie, I just need to mention, you kind of forgot to mention something really important.
What is that? What did I forget?
Now, here's the thing, because you're not the only one who's gonna get the Yuzu cough drops. Oh well, not even cough drops, right? Like it just drops our throat in general, and that's it. First and second place for today's tournament, today's qualifiers, is gonna get a care package, and not just that. First and second place is one thing. We also have our one shot MVP who will all receive a care package on behalf of one shot. And so they will have those drops. They have a little bit of extra stuff as well to work with that. So hope you have that in mind. So play out your best here. The one shot MVP as well. I mean, still in line here. We don't know who our one shot MVP is yet. It could be anyone.
It could be.
Anyone.
It could be you. It could be you, Nitera. It could be me.
Artie.
What if I'm the one-shot MVP? Well, unfortunately, Frog 3, they're not going to be able to get their care package this time, but we will for sure be seeing them in the next open qualifiers that are going to be taking place in the coming weeks. Remember, there's still 2 more chances before our first Masters Series playoff. That being said, I think we've got some fun action coming up. If we could take a look at our scoreboard bracket, we could find, not even that, a map pick and ban. We're seeing NTHX back again, baby.
I mean, NTHX is definitely one of the favorites to win coming into this right now, having taken out Frog Tree, moving to LRC. We're gonna see how this goes out, but we are gonna see Las Vegas finally being kicked out of this map pool and Skyway Stadium to boot as well. Sys Horizon finally making an appearance, which is, like I said, one of my favorite maps to say the least. Monaco returning in for a second pick here, and so with the last one as I've decided if it ever comes down to it. How are we feeling?
I feel like this is actually a game where we have a good chance of seeing that map 3. And I love the fact that we're seeing Sys Horizon. It also is one of my favorite maps as well. Hot take, I think it is the most beautiful map that's ever been dropped in gaming history. I will die on that hill. It is such a unique map, not only with its layout, but also the art style and direction that they chose to go with. Especially, I'm not sure if you've played on it a lot, but the way that it integrates with that sandbox gameplay of the finals is just so satisfying. There's lots and lots of different ways to approach the fights, especially on that southern part of the map on campus where there's that giant Japanese Zen garden, and there's cash outs that can spawn either on the roof of the campus, on the inside of the first floor of the campus, or all the way over in that Zen garden. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket. We saw BKO approaching the lower bracket finals once again. They are going to be close into that next fight after the No Name and Sponge Boys finish up their fight, which I'm pretty sure is happening on the B stream. And right now, we are going to be taking a look at NTHX Esports and LRC. Once again, like you said,
Yeah, so with the return of NTHX, we're going to see quite an interesting lineup going into this. I feel like you're a little concerned at what's happening, so maybe I'll take this off real quick.
How are you able to see?
I opened my third eye, so whenever I put this on, I can actually see through what's happening. So I know what you're doing. Don't try.
You're right.
Put up your fingers.
Okay, I have my fingers up.
You don't have any. I asked you to put up your fingers.
Yeah, I do. I got one. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway,
I saw that. I saw that.
but I'm so excited to see because now NTHX, right? We couldn't really get a grasp on their we couldn't really get a grasp on how they were approaching their fights because of the interesting developed play style that Frog 3 had tried with
Right.
not playing the objective. So this time NTHX, they're going to be up against a team that has storied their way through these qualifiers to be in the top, and I'm very excited for them to show off kind of what they have in store for NTHX because we can finally see them up against a team that might be anchoring the site.
When now, if that being said, though, how are you going to adapt the strategies across it? I mean, the one thing I said just now was that, one thing I appreciate about finals is environment. The environment is just so vast and so like cluttered with so many things you can do here. Be it NO2 canister or mustard gas. Geneva conventions doesn't work here, whatever. But in the main frame here, it's kind of just how you want to approach the situation, especially if we're going to our first match, Sys Horizon. Walls are a bit thin there, so I'm kind of excited to see whether they want to play around with the giant bar space they have over each floor versus if they want to just hunker down onto the roofs here, where it's a little bit more vertical as well. Not too high, but still offering a little bit more than usual.
Exactly. And we do know that NTHX, they like to run the double medium heavy with that one medium being utilized for the dematerializer, which allows for so much insane sandbox gameplay, especially on Sys Horizon.
Now, hear me out here. What if we just have 3 lights? All with cloaking, all with swords.
I would love to see you go for that one-shot MVP. I would love to see you do that when you're competing in the next ones, because I know that you are signed up to compete in Open Qualifier 3. And so the main argument against Cloak Sword is that the dash is kind of broken. So if you're playing Sword on Light, you're going to be playing dash. Although I can guarantee you, we will not be seeing a Sword Light today. Although stranger things have happened. We have seen sword lights in scrims. I just don't think we're going to see it today.
Well, I have heard my producer scream for my name, and I don't know if that's actually something that actually happened or that's in passing. But hey, stranger things truly have happened today, as we are going to wait for our games here. So Artie, hold on to me here as we wait for our games to happen. But I think we've got something going for us here today. And we are going to be bouncing straight to in-game in just a bit here. There we go, game starting here. And again, NTHX with one of their beautiful players on Floppy here, waiting to get started here.
Oh, wait, wait. Oh, okay, never mind. I've completely forgot that they're in French, and so it does say L. So it is going to be a double medium heavy on both teams. And as we get ready to figure out what the approach is going to be, I'm curious to see how LRC is choosing to enter this fight, whether they're going for that double medium for that extra sustain, or if they're going double medium to pull out a single dematerializer the same way the NTHX is.
Go top.
Well, already here we have this beautiful triple screen to understand where they're pathing, how they're moving about, and it is already going straight down into the cache. Sorry, the vault here. The vault is going to be on standby here, be able to jump in and go across. They're not finding their marks here. They have no idea where they go. Is this a frog tree situation?
Well, it's on a vault, right? Vault opening is totally fine to do that for.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
a cash out. So I'm fine with this approach for now. But let's see. It looks like they are going to be able to walk away with it. But is it going to be for free? They're now approaching. Looks like they are going to be approaching cash out A. But will they be able to make it there unscathed?
Oh, they already see it. I think they're just camping out at the cache out as well. They're able to catch him out in the middle here. They have dome shoot down. Comes around the corner here. The RPG coming in for massive damage here. 140 damage just like that with the mines as well.
He ended his own life with his own RPG. So this is going to be a good W for LRC here as they're able to clean up one more. That's going to be a 3-on-1 situation. And not only that, but LRC, they're fully in control of the cash out station. And THX, though, they're getting that soft revive here. They don't have to worry about the team wipe. Instead, they can just get those free coins back in. 5 more seconds until they get their last medium in sight. But let's go ahead and see what the approach is. Looking like Carbon and Ploppy are waiting for Noli to get into position.
I really like how they're disciplined here, just waiting for the entire team. They know they don't have a lot of time, but still decide to wait it out. But from the corner here, we do see as they enter in, there's definitely someone waiting for them, camping on the corner and just stairs just before. But right now, just moving back out, understanding the situation. As now we see cash out ticking down to the halfway mark here. There are not a lot of time left.
Yeah, here in the art gallery, there's not a lot of movement potential, but look at that. Ploppy makes his own movement potential with the dematerializer. Going to be moving over to the side here. Will they find the correct approach? No, Ploppy unfortunately falling a little bit too far. That's going to be a time sink that will end up hurting them here. But once again, the long open corridors of the art gallery will allow for LRC to get a read on how NTHX is going to be approaching this team fight. And with all the goo and barriers they have set around, this is going to be an easy anchor for LRC as NTHX struggles to find their way in.
Well, with that being said, though, I think it's very safely assured to the side here, because I don't think NTHX has a way to really turn this around. They're going to try their best here, and as they approach the heavy, that's it. Next one going down now, and of course, LRC is going to secure themselves at $10,000, basically.
Yep, that is going to be first cash out going towards LRC. NTHX Esports, well, you know, they are going to have to adjust their approach. This is a slightly different team than they're used to encountering, given the fact that their entire last game was riddled with interesting plays.
Pretty rough if I do say so myself, because right now, I mean, NTHX was definitely, favorite to win, but now NTHX is just kind of stuck in this weird position where they're like, okay, do we want to go for it first? Do we want to wait for it? We're going to lock everything up. But what did they take it from us? And now that's the question they have to answer themselves. How are we going to do the retake situation if they give it up? It's not about whether they lose it. It's about whether they can retake it, more importantly, because they're so strong at that.
Exactly. Now they're moving back again towards that sort of defensive gatekeeping playstyle where they know LRC has control of the vault. Now they just have to try to get in between them and the next cash out. Looks like LRC is trying to bait them one way or the other. I can't tell exactly which, but at this point in time, the vault is moving towards cash out C, and this is going to be pretty easy for them to hold as they make their way into workspace.
And now with the into workspace, though, they have quite a little bit of a connection here, connecting to one right now. RPG not making a mark here, but Domshu is going down. They're able to take another one for the side here, and this is going to be their time to shine.
This is what we needed to see from NTHX. We need to see a little bit more of that aggression, but unfortunately for NTHX, we didn't get it at the right moment. We already got it. We got it once LRC was already in a good position to be able to play off of their team, play off of the information that's coming to them. If NTHX was just a little bit faster with that as LRC was entering the building and a little bit more split up, I think that would have been more successful.
You can even hear them screaming out there, it was not their time to go down. And right now, it looks like they're going for this gas situation here. Everything's set up and ready to go. If they want to try for it, there's that. A lot of office equipment being shown here. I'm not too sure if that's going to change anything here, but it also gives them a little bit more space to move around and work around it. So
yeah, they're turning the workspace into a play space, but here comes NTHX with the DMAT, trying to go reverse ice fishing here from the bottom, see if they can find any entry. They almost got one member of LRC to drop down, but NTHX, they have a little bit of extra time here. There's still about half of the timer remaining on that cash out, so they can take their time. They get an easy pick, and now they're going to pad up inside of the dematted building. Looks like that res is going to come through, though. This could make things a little bit difficult, especially as that heavy starts to do a little bit more damage. NTHX so close to being able to make it work, but just so far away at the same time. LRC looks so stable here.
Nicely done, though, as we're using the gases to hurt them a little bit more, and now they have everything in control from themselves. NTHX just not in a very good position right now, as LRC is able to clean this one up for themselves.
I think that might even be it. There is enough time for one more team fight, but unless they get the pyro grenade and the RPG placement exactly right, they are not going to have enough time. Dematerialize the vent to open it up for the heavy to run through. Let's see how NTHX is going to be able to make this approach. They're looking for an entry, but are they going to be taking too much time in doing so? Floppy looking for the entry fight. He gets one opening, but unfortunately for him, that opening is going to be running away very, very quickly.
Nicely done.
Pyro cancels the gas. Here we go. One kill, but is there enough time for the steal? RPG cancels the steal and drops it down, and there's no time for the steal. That's going to be an LRC victory for map 1.
That was very painful to say the least, though the C4 really sealing the deal down there, buying them just a little bit more time to defend, and that gives them a very good start to this best of 3. LRC moving up with 1 point here. We have one more game going for them if you want to make this work, but again, NTHX, if they win 2 in a row now, we've got something going. We got something going, RD.
Exactly. That was a really good attempt from NTHX, but I think that NTHX, they're just a little bit asleep from that last game, right? They're not used to people playing on the point right now. And so the whole thing that they've got to do, right, is just take that L and sort of let it sort of figure out in their head, okay, how do we make our approach? And I think that approach is just they realize that they've left too much on the table at any given time. While the medium was trying to go ice fishing and dematerialize the floor underneath, the other medium and heavy could have been working to at least make some progress on the other side of things. They had made that team fight just a little bit different. I mean, look at the difference. It was a 15 HP and 50 HP. It was so close to being in their favor.
100%, definitely very close to their favor, but what's done is done, and basically they have kind of just have to wait this out for the next round to see if they can turn this around, because I mean, not a team that you really go against often, especially since we see Frog Street before, but it's more of a team that you kind of just realize that, hey, they have quite a similar strategy, and just trying to play around them. They're a lot more coordinated in terms of the strategy. How can we personally break it out? I mentioned just now that one of the strengths that NTHX have was retaking, right? And I do believe in that still very much. If they are able to, play around it a little bit more, buy some time before they do a stronger retake, I mean, by all means, this is their game to win.
Exactly. This is definitely a winnable situation. Every team fight that we saw NTHX get themselves into was only lost by a small margin, by a small correctable margin. But let's not just keep talking about NTHX. Let's talk about LRC, because they were stable. They were playing as a team and locked in on that teamwork component.
Right. So, I mean, I think the one thing that LRC definitely had was knowing when to engage, who to engage, which is always an important thing, right? In any game, you want to know who you're going to focus down. And I guess their main strategy is really simple. If you see a medium come in, that's my first target. Clear him out. If you see a heavy come in, you're not gonna spray everything and make anything work. It's not gonna happen when you have two mediums to really back you up. And that's another thing that I want to say LRC does really well, which is they know how to group up well. Because when the heavy is almost down, you see come out one entire package of healing just for you. We talk about the self-care package, or one shot, right? That's the self-care package for the entire team of LRC.
Exactly. That's what they need. That is what is going to make it worth it today. But not only that, the Masters series with the cash prizes later down the line. The match is started, so let's go ahead and see map 2 if NTHX can stay in this upper bracket while we get going. I just want to see a little bit more aggression and a little bit more cohesion, especially when you've got that only one healer. But now look at this, NTHX. So this is LRC. They got the double heals, right? And NTHX, if they're running one heal, one DMAT, like we can see, that is a difference in sustainability. The double medium with heals keeps your heavy alive for infinitely longer.
And this is kind of what we're trying to say, right? Because they group up so much with the team that it makes more sense to just run something more supportive in nature when you have such a strong tank waiting around. But right now, it looks like number 1 is open here. We're going to see who gets to it first and set up for a very strong push into the cash out.
And it's going to be a solid movement by NTHX. We can also see in the bottom right that we do have a view of LRC and what they've got cooking up for us. But as we approach the vault, mediums in front, it's neither here nor there at this point in the approach, but they got to make sure that the mediums are staying far enough behind their heavy. And again, the lack of C4 means that while they're on the point, they have to be a lot more active in their defense. But we've seen this from NTHX before, APS and the barricade to keep them set up here. And LRC is going to be opening the vault, but this is exactly what NTHX wants at this point.
So they have to kind of just wait for a situation here to turn this around. They have the ball on standby here. They're going to pick everything and run back out. One thing I would say though is that actually this is such a great situation for them, because compared to NTHX, right now they have the chance to sit down there, wait, and prepare themselves for their arrival. So I mean, if anything, I really feel LRC is an advantage here.
I mean, yeah, when you have the ability to control where the vault is going, you know, you get to set the pace of your own fight. But at the same time, NTHX, they're trying to get ahead of that and get in between it, which looks like they might be able to right now if LRC is inside of the cathedral, which they are. Looks like the pad is not going to be used. Instead, they're going to jump straight through the windows. But LRC's just now getting the cash out plugged in. NTHX from the rooftops with that dematerializer, going to see if they can make this work. LRC playing from underneath the point. They haven't dropped it just yet. The APS is going to make it hard, but there we go. The cash out's dropped, and this is perfect for LRC in a pretty bad situation to be in if you're NTHX. They lose one, they're going to lose two, and there's the third. Almost out here. Will they get a res? Yes, they did manage to get a res, but unfortunately they were immediately cast out here. No! The defib kill!
That is
the defib kill! The disrespect!
You hate to see it, you hate to see it.
He killed him with a defibrillator!
I don't want to talk about it, I'll be honest with you. I really don't want to. That little bit of shock here just to try and clean this up. You hate to see it.
Oh my god, you can tell in the silence when we cut back over to NTHX's comms to see exactly how they felt about that one. But this is going to be their entry right now. They do have a chance. Cash out can't be dropped any further. It's on the ground floor. Let's see how they make the entry. It is going to be Carbon Magma taking the first bits of damage. Noli unable to barricade in time before the damage is output. Do see Noli trying to get back in. He does use the RPG for a quick opener. That's one member of LRC down, but it's traded out immediately as NTHX finds themselves once again in a 2v2. The res has not come off, but at the same time, Noli unable to stick the shots. We have 3 members of LRC up at this moment in time, and that's going to be a team wipe for NTHX. But no, they sustain. They're able to get up at least a little bit here, but did they have time to finish the fight and get the steal? No, as Ploppy goes down, we're back with just one heavy player remaining. Looks like this cash out is going to be a miss for NTHX.
Unfortunate, this is kind of how it turns out, because I mean they really had a great situation going for them here, as NTHX had this kind of everything going for them, and right now it might be looking up. Oh, wow, how did I miss everything? Is this just them spraying for fun?
He's shooting his teammate, bro.
Yeah, he's shooting his
might
teammate.
Be 3 a.m. for you.
Yeah, it is 3 a.m. But I was like wondering, wait, he's shooting his teammate. It's like, oh wait, no, that doesn't make sense. Okay, but all things said and done right now, they're in a great position to just kind of push themselves up for the next vault here. And right now, they've chosen to just kind of sit on the roofs here, get information to see where they at. And there is a cash out B onto the left here, so they have something going for them. And I kind of feel like that's the next best place to go. Just run straight for B.
Yeah, LRC looks so coordinated here. They are locked in. They've definitely been taking their one-shot energy, you could say. But as Vault 2 gets ready to make its way over to cash out B, there's a decided lack of NTHX on the way. It's going to allow LRC to actually get a free pad over. You actually can see Nason Aaron 404 waiting to get the information that they're crossing the street. And there they are. As the street gets crossed, they're pushing in towards this area. Looks like LRC is baking themselves into this back staircase.
Right now, they're just in a great position here. They have the dome shoot up both sides as well. They broke the first one here. Jump head up again. Maybe try to fight from the air. That's something they can't do. They can't angle 2 angles at one go by slowly chipping it out. First one down for the count. Shu is down as well here as NTHX slowly losing their players one at a time. 2 players left into the ball here to get the defib. Turning us around. Another pickup here. And now they might be able to take this steal back.
That's a team wipe.
Nicely
that is a team wipe for LRC, and NTHX finally gets a cash out to their name here in the Royal Plaza area of Monaco. You love to see it when a team is able to kind of come back here, and at the same time, they are now going to get into their classic stability when they pull out those barricades and the APS and try to get a little bit of preparation going before LRC makes their way back in. Now, we are going to be watching the Model 1887 from Ploppy, a slightly different approach to that usual medium gameplay, especially because there's nothing to demat here on this point. So let's go ahead and see how they decide to play it. The bubbles will go down for both heavies, and there we go. Pyro Grenade going to be a little bit of aerial denial. Let's see how Ploppy decides to push this, but a lot of damage going through. They need that healer for the sustainability. Big damage from Ploppy. Will it be able to be followed up, or will it be healed out by LRC?
I think it might be just be healed out here, as they're just such a weird position. Maybe everyone pushing in here. They do take one for the trade here, and right now, not looking too good. They have 2 players on the side who can actually hold this down. They get the revive, and now the situation is looking much better on one side, but NTHX still has a hill to climb out here after this 10k. They have one more to work with.
Exactly. They got one more to work with, but it was super good to see. Even though Ploppy, you know, maybe that 1887 isn't connecting the way he wanted it to, his team was able to come back up. When you are using 1887, it makes the other team have to really focus on that one player. So they're equally trying to divide resources between the extreme damage output of that shotgun, but also the heavy that is not only tanking your damage, but also getting it healed right back up. And so NTHX, they're able to really utilize this in their advantage to figure out how to draw the crosshairs where they need them. But look at this, a mine, an RPG, and a quick sprint through, and their team is wiped before they can get access to this vault.
And tell me about it. What can they turn to right now, other than the fact that they don't have the resources to turn this around, right? Basically, the mine RPG just very stuck. What they could possibly try and do right now, though, is instead of setting up, you know, maybe, and I know this is gonna hurt you, but take a page out of Frog Tree. Spread out a little bit more, take a few hikes before you come back for the cash out.
Well, when it comes to the forest section of Monaco, I agree, because the forest in this area, there are so few places that you can actually go through. We can see Nason Air 404 going with the absolutely insane supply line movement here to get as many barrels on this hill house as possible. But they are setting up for a pretty good defense. And look at this. This is how you use the sandbox. You get up there with the goo, get yourself into a good position. Now anchoring down with the APS and the barricades.
But here we go. This is how we're gonna turn this around. First thing, engagement starts here. They're very low now. They've lost themselves. They're disconnecting from the team. The dome shoot finally popped off here, but they lose one on the side here. Last one player remaining. LRC is looking very low. But look, 2 players, 3 players on the side. NTHX searching for the last one. The one piece.
Yeah, this is now in a 2-on-1 situation, but given the fact that LRC is able to get the reses off, are they going to be able to sustain for much longer? It all comes down to this. This is the final cash out, and it is an insane fight with massive sustainability from both teams. NTHX still staying in the running here, although Ploppy is going to be fighting with his model 1887 here to at least do a little bit more damage, but LRC, they're still in the running. Ploppy is going to go down in the fight. That's going to leave 2 players remaining, a little bit less sustainability as they now lose access to 1 more defib, but NTHX, they stay up, they stay in the running. LRC, they're getting the site taken from them. LRC is not even team wiped yet, but they have to let the cash out go. Will they be able to recover from this? The question is, where is the respawn coming from, and will there be enough time for the team fight?
I don't think there is. It's counting down very close right now. It's a bit too tight for my liking.
Oh,
I think this is gonna be it.
Spawn. This is definitely it. This is a map 3 moment right now.
Well, unfortunate for them here. It might be a map 3 moment like they're saying, but hey, if there's a will, there's a way. There's still a little bit of time. They can definitely attempt this, but I don't think there's any point to it, as we do see timers up. NTHX. Whew, they're bringing this one back for sure.
Absolutely, and that is going to be a good running from NTHX. NTHX noticed that, hey, it's going to be, you know, we lost the first one. Are we going to lose 2? They said no thanks.
I really did not think how they could possibly turn this around. Yeah,
like no thanks, like
NT really.
It's no thanks. I think, hey,
I don't make the rules. I don't make the team name. I mean. They have something going for them, definitely, and now that they've proven it, it's just kind of whether they can stick to it. So, I mean, strategies across the board, I don't think we need to tell them. There's a reason why we're here and they're there, so let's leave it as that. But I think one thing I want to see change up, especially if they're going into the last match, which I believe is Seoul.
Yeah,
it's Seoul, right? It's Seoul, right?
I believe so. So we're gonna take another look at this again. It is Seoul.
Got it.
And you know, we saw NTHX performing a little bit underwhelmingly on Sys Horizon. We saw them come back on Monaco. Now it's time for them to stay back on Seoul. NTHX, there's tons of support for them in the chat here. They are going to have to do even better this time around, because given LRC's playstyle with that double healer, if they find themselves caught out on that Seoul hospital rooftop, this could be detrimental for NTHX.
Well, with that being said, though, I mean, strategy is pretty much the same here. I mean, Seoul is a rooftop runner. We're gonna see whether they want to break out maybe the tunnels that lead across here. That might be one way they can turn this around. But if not, I think we've got pretty good. So if we're gonna see whether we can get the match started ASAP, I mean, otherwise, Artie, how are you feeling about the game so far? I mean, it's gotta be quite tense here.
I mean, this is good. It's the first map 3 of the day. That means that there's some actually really tight competition. I mean, we saw it there. It went right down to the wire at that final cash out station. And so now going into Seoul, again, there's a few key moments that we got to focus on. Is NTHX working on their adaptations? I would say yes, because they were able to come back on that map too. And we saw them approach their fights a little differently. The most important thing, though, is to not let that vault control go unnoticed on Seoul, because that vault, if it goes to a cash out station that you're not ready for, it could be over.
Ooh, I'm really hoping to see whether they can turn this one around. I'm just trying to rack my head right now on what they can possibly do to make this work, because I want both teams to really make it out.
I mean, you know, you got to find where the strengths are on both team compositions. Obviously, when it comes to LRC, double heals all the way. But when it comes to NTHX, we're still using the DMAT. They are believers in the DMAT, and I am a DMAT believer myself. So what they got to do is play for the DMAT the best way you can. You make your own angles that the enemies are not ready for.
And I am a firm believer of Cloak Sword.
We're not seeing a sword, Nightera.
Let's go.
It's not happening.
Let's go, les gars.
Whatever. You know, NTHX versus LRC. You know what? Fine. We're not seeing a sword.
Maybe in the future, but for now, we are going to be seeing the first vault being set all the way over on the sidelines towards that hospital spawn. Now, this is on the close side of hospital and not the far side for the spawn, but once again, it is going to be far enough away that whoever takes the control of it will have an option to bring it over to the fabled cash out B.
Very early into the engagement right there. Now, of course, we do see them coming down from the top down, jumping off. It's not looking too heavy right now. I mean, nothing too dicey. They're just waiting for opportunity. Don't have any more information from that. Looks like they really want to just wait it out and turn this around.
So NTHX, they're set up at the very top so they can try to get information, and they can see LRC, at least 2 of the members are over on the construction site. But this is not a good look for LRC, because NTHX has full control of the vault right now. They're going to be able to take it all the way over to the hospital. Now, the number one thing is we saw NTHX before leaving the bridge up and not destroying it. But wait, they're not going for B. Instead, they're pushing LRC on the construction site. They're choosing to fight on cash out A here, which means that they've got a plan. Floppy going to be utilizing the dematerializer to create an opening here, but it's going to be LRC who starts off very, very strong on this team fight by getting those jump pads to get a unique angle, but shut down immediately by NTHX.
Turning around here, they do pick up another one from the side here, and that means there's 2 down. I do believe the last one was taken down as well, which means if they stay on pseudo white, they have to actually go back here, reset. They have time for at least one more fight minimum if they play slow.
Exactly. And that's going to be the thing for NTHX now is once they get this reset, they're stable, right? NTHX knows how to play these things, and I'm very, very happy to see them actually running into A with such confidence. LRC, they're going to be quick on this respawn with this central location, immediately trying to get that damage output going, but they need to put their heavy in front. Their heavy is going to be in front, but unfortunately somewhat separated from the healers. They are going to be able to fix that really quickly, and as they start this next fight, this is going to be one of their last chances.
Ooh, I'm not too sure if it is going to be it right now. They don't want to give away this chance. Game score is 1 round to 1 round match point, anyone's game at this point.
Il est tout seul.
Goose being set down here, and of course they're gonna try and defend this cash out as best they can. Here
Le gros, il est tout seul en haut.
But right now, aggressive play coming from NTHX.
Ils sont que deux, ils sont que deux.
Damage and so they can turn this around. But
Oh,
great hit here,
both
cleans out for
mediums.
2. And this might be a chance for them.
Unfortunate, both mediums go out right there, and this is just such tight gameplay from LRC. You can see that there was once again value left on the table. NTHX was unable to find an opportunity to use that RPG to get that opening damage, whereas LRC, they opened the fight with that jump pad RPG. You open the fight with that insane amount of damage output, and so now NTHX, they're finding themselves in a little bit of a sticky situation.
Ooh, right now it's not looking too good for them. I mean, they are definitely down 10,000 here, but it's not over just yet. They only have the vault being slowly unlocked here, which I think is a saving grace, right? Because I mean, if it was a different situation where it was a cash out, it's almost ticking out. You'd be a little bit more hard pressed.
Yeah, you would be, right? But at the same time, LRC, you can hear it in their comms. They're laughing, they're vibing, they're together. And that's the kind of safety that having that double healer setup allows for. Whereas NTHX, they're locked in right now. They need to play perfectly because with only one healer, if you're not just letting your heavy do all of the damage possible, and as, you know, playing with the DMAT, if you're not opening up the sightlines for your teammates or opening up skirmishing angles, it's leaving up value. So we're going to be watching now as the vault gets taken all the way back towards Petronel Plaza, and let's see where Vault 2 ends up trying to go. One flanker on the side of LRC coming up behind NTHX, but as Vault 2 ends up right at the bottom of Petronel Plaza, we can see what LRC is up to. They're trying to skirmish to take this fight first before even approaching the cash out. They want as much time as possible to set up.
A few nicks here and there is just not going to give them any such a really force in here, but right now waiting for opportunity to make it happen, but we have Meteor Stars active as well.
Non, il est super low, gros, il est super low. Ils sont deux vitrines, trois vitrines. Temporiser, j'ai le temps de coin, 15 secondes. Ils vont pouvoir le mettre.
They're just kind of waiting for this. I like how
just waiting for the opening.
We let it simmer for a bit, and we're just kind of watching how this panned out.
Exactly. This is one of those situations where we can kind of see the approach, and you know, LRC, they figured out, hey, they're giving us time to do this. Let's go ahead and go for that hospital approach. So now they have all the time in the world, and this is putting NTHX in such a bad spot because now they have to find their way over, and instead of being able to approach from green, they are actually going for the bridge approach. Bridge hasn't been taken out yet. This is, once again, kind of an oversight by LRC to not dedicate a player to destroying the bridge. And NTHX, they're going to see that weakness. They're going to jump at it. Here we are with the approach up the elevator. Once the lift reaches its destination, we see them all pop out of the elevator shaft, trying to get a quick pick on one before finishing the approach. He's down to half HP, and that's enough for them. They are going to start this now, but will they be able to get the jump pad RPG just right? They need to, because this is already enough time to where LRC has time. Look at this, they blocked in the doorway. The DMAT's going to come through. There's the jump pad, but the RPG from LRC connects to them first. NTHX, good opening damage RPG, good damage output from the Lewis gun, but this is the team fight that they need to win, and they already lost both mediums. This is so difficult, and that's going to be a team wipe here. LRC has the chance to take it all now. It is all up to just the next team fight, if they even have time.
Ooh, and right now they have two little cannons splitting. They just want to try and like blow out the bridge here as best they can. And I'm not too sure where this is going to bring them towards because they have the entire team with them and they're trying to slow them down, but we don't exactly know where they're spawning right now. And as you can see that this is going to kind of hurt them a little bit more. And we're in such a weird position because NTHX now primed and ready at the top of this crane here. They have the opportunity to do what basically everyone wants to do.
They have just enough time. Just enough time. They're gonna hit this slide jump pad here. It's a zip line instead. They choose the zip line. Could get broken. LRC lets him come over. They don't even try to break. But no! The missed jump pad. That's going to be all she's saying.
No.
That is the end of the game here. And that's going to be unfortunate for NTHX to get knocked out 2-0 in round 3. Went all the way up to map 3. But on map 3, not a single cash out.
Very painful indeed as we take a look across the board here. How they could have done differently. I mean, it just don't feel like they could have done anything more than that. Because honestly, they played out to their outs as best they can. And now, I guess, here we are. Just shy away from the gold medal, essentially.
Exactly.